Hi, everybody. Okay, so uh, February album writing month is a challenge where you write 14 songs in 28 days. Or this year, you have an extra day, 29 songs. Wait, 29 days. You might choose to write 29 songs, but the challenge is 14 songs. So here are my tips on FAWM prep and also if you get stuck with something. The first thing I like to do is get out everything. So I'm going to get out all my instruments and gear and stuff and just look at it, and at least I know where things are. That way during FAWM I'm not like going, where is this particular thing that I put in a box or bin and stored somewhere and I have no idea where it is when I really want it. So to get everything out so I can look at it and say, okay, it's right there. And then maybe I'll decide I'm going to use this batch of stuff and I'm probably not going to use this stuff, so I can then maybe store that somewhere else. At least I'll know where it is because I looked at everything. So I think it's a really good idea. Then restring. If you're going to restring instruments, you don't have to. Some people don't like to do that. Flat wounds on a bass, you don't need to string them. Um, Flat wounds on a guitar, I'm starting to move towards that direction, and if they last a lot longer, great. They might be a little more expensive, but if I only have to replace them, or if I never have to replace them, you know, Um, but intonating your instruments is a good idea, especially this time of year with different temperatures and things might get a little wobbly. It might be a good idea to go ahead and intonate your guitars. It's not something I've really ever done because I just have never figured that one out, but I'm going to do it this year, especially that. That one has new strings on it, but I don't like those strings. So it's a good thing I did that in at the end of December and realized that I don't like that particular set, and I'm going to put new ones on there in the next week or so, and I'll do the intonation on it. Um, Backups. If you haven't already done all your backups from last time, whenever last time was, go ahead, back your stuff up. Maybe look at your, if you're working on the computer, make sure you have extra space. Maybe you need to do a little bit of tidying up. It's always good to tidy up and make sure your stuff's backed up, whether it's onto a backup hard drive or maybe you're just going to burn it all onto a DVD or even a CD-ROM, or maybe you're just going to make an audio copy or make a couple. Don't just make one. Mail one to your mom. I don't know. It's always a good idea to have more than one copy. Uh, Even if it's the only copy in the universe, just make two. Mail one to a friend. Paper and notebooks. You're going to want plenty of paper to write lyrics on, to rewrite those lyrics, to crumple the paper and throw it in the garbage or recycle. Um, and then notebooks. I always love to have notebooks. I constantly am keeping new ideas in them and stupid ideas, but they're ideas and they go in there, and I might use them. I may never use them. I might not use any of them for FAWM. I might use them for uh, other times in the future, but if you get some kind of idea, it's good right when you have it to put it down because you might forget it. It's the same thing with dreams, and you can use dreams too for lyric content stories. But if you don't pull them out when you come out of the dream state, you're going to forget. and you're not going to remember that great moment that in between the dream state and your waking time if you don't write them down. Or you could put them on your phone too. I do that a lot where I'll record something while I'm laying in bed because I know maybe it's something that I might not necessarily remember all of, but that little bit of telling the story of what I just experienced in the dream state may end up triggering uh, more to it, and sometimes it can be there can be lyrics and songs in there. Um, Set up a comfortable place to write. This may not be where I'm going to be writing, probably. It's just where I have this keyboard set up. But it's good to have a spot. Maybe it's the couch, uh, wherever it is for you. It's definitely different. Maybe you want an uncomfortable place to write. Maybe go sit in the basement on the cement, or be cold, or go outside and sit in the puddle. It might be something different for you, but figure out what that is for you, and go have that place set up so that you can just go into it and not be bothered by maybe family or pets or the noise from the neighbors, or maybe it's the television from other family members. Um, just have that space that you can go into for you to be able to do the process, to write lyrics, to come up with whatever songs you're going to come up with for FAWM. Set up and install samples. Obviously, this is probably more for people who are using synthesizers and samplers. Um, Maybe you want to take some time and suss out what you are going to use for apps or for your soft synths. Maybe you're going to go and maybe figure out your batches of sounds and even limit yourself. Have that constraint. We're doing 14 songs within 29 days. It is a constraint. So you can say, I'm only going to use that one particular synth sound, or maybe you're only going to use that sound on one song. That way you vary it and it's not something too repetitive. Song and album titles. I like to keep a list of these generally all the time. So if I get something, even just the song title can be the prompt for writing a song. It may not be what I'm ultimately going to call it, but it's a start, and I like to have those things. And even they're great also if you end up doing an instrumental. It might just have something on your list. You're like, oh, I need a title right now. What is, oh, just quickly refer to your list. Maybe some people might feel like that's cheating if you're pulling it from some time outside of February. That's okay too. If that's what you want to do with FAWM, that's fine, I think. I tend to have a list. I don't always use them. In fact, I seem to recall last FAWM, I didn't use anything from my list. I just pulled new stuff. I created new stuff right there. And same with lyric fragments. If you have little bits of lyrics, maybe they're just on, a napkin somewhere, consolidate that stuff, get it in either a notebook or maybe an Excel spreadsheet, and you can have, this great little line that maybe you could use if you are either stuck on something, or maybe you just need that one little nugget that's gold that you forgot about, and they're like, oh yeah, that'll fit this perfectly. Where are you posting and hosting? So a lot of people, they'll use FAWM, and I would suggest that you're gonna contribute to do that. That's great. Some people use other uh, hosting such as SoundCloud, Bandcamp, YouTube, but figure that out ahead of time so you're not kind of trying to do it February 1st or whenever you're going to post your first songs. Maybe take some time and get that sorted ahead of time. Um, and then if you get stuck, go take a walk. Do something different outside of I'm trying to write a song. No, don't. Just go ahead and take it easy. Take a walk. I had it happen to me one February 1st. I wasn't really trying to write another song that morning, but I went and took a walk and the lyrics just came to me and I started putting them right into my phone. It's always a good idea if you do that to have your phone or some other kind of recording device with you. Maybe it's a notebook and a pen. But it's good to keep that stuff around. But the idea here is just if you get stuck, don't worry about it. Just take a walk. Go look at the mountains or a tree or your cat. I don't know. Uh, it's just a good idea to break from trying to do the creative process. And that can also be just, I'm going to have a jam. I'm going to just play. I'm not going to press record. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to pick up my instrument and wail on it and have fun. And that's what this is really all about, is having fun, I think, and not trying to become the next great thing in your life. Just have fun. That's the important thing. And the last thing I'll leave here is that if you want to set yourself up to not have to stop and have to do something, you can make a bunch of food, such as like a bunch of burritos. You could, do food prep and put them in the freezer. That way, you're set for at least a few meals that you could just pop in the oven and you don't have to stop your process. It's just your food's going to be ready in a few minutes and then you can go and take 5 minutes or 10 minutes to eat. And it's not too much of an interruption. Whereas if you're going, you really want to keep going on making music, but you're starving and you know that's going to be a good half an hour and it might break the whole process up and you may not be able to get back to it that night or that day for some reason. If you had some of those things already sorted ahead of time, it's not a bad idea. I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to get to trying to learn some new sounds on an app that I downloaded that I have yet to lurk into. So that's it. Have a good FAWM. Bye.